Ladies and gentlemen, welcome everyone, good evening and welcome to the next step of the Trackmania Grand League. It is step 5, we're almost halfway through the first ever Trackmania Grand League. I am here again to bring you the cast of the 5th step, which is going to be played today. The drivers have come together again, they have assembled tonight on the server to battle it out for some more valuable points on the leaderboard, on the Trackmania Grand League leaderboard. Today is going to be a truly exciting match as well. After step 4, which has been truly outstanding, I think we are up for a treat on step number 5, which will be starting right now. So we're going to start on the first map as per usual. For those that are maybe unfamiliar with the format, we're going to play 5 maps in laps mode with a specific amount of laps per map, and depending on your position at the end of the track you will be granted points, and the points are just being stacked for the entire step. However, we of course have the twist that players who place themselves in the bottom 8 starting from map 2 will lose all of the points that they have gathered beforehand. So let's say someone gets 20 points on map 1, but he places, I don't know, 13th on map 2. Then he's gonna lose all of the points that he's gotten beforehand, and will only be given the points that he would get for that 13th place. So this is kind of the twist that the Trackmania Grand League has introduced, and today it is not gonna be any different. We're gonna start on the first map right here. It is the introduction map. It is TMGL Circle. Let's have a look at a small map preview before we go into the race. And that was it, the map presentation for our first map of tonight. Step 5 gonna be introduced with Circle, a map by SoftyB, who is of course one of the organizers of this competition. And he built us this fabulous track. Never mind that Windows sound. So yeah, we have this track, which is very simple. It is of course the introduction map, so it is meant to be rather short. And this one is mainly based on these long corners that are kind of NASCAR-ish, if you want to put it that way. NASCAR, of course, being a style that is somewhat represented in Trackmania, and this one comes a little bit close to that style. So we have this long left-hander in the beginning, followed up by a section where you want to avoid the freewheel. The freewheel platforms right here, if you touch them with one of your wheels, then your engine will shut off up until you reach the next checkpoint, which is right over there. So you will lose a lot of precious time if you happen to accidentally hit those engine killers. So the players will try their best to avoid these and carry as much speed as possible through the looping, go into the left-hander with a little transition down into the final checkpoint, and then we have the multi-lap coming up right here, the start-finish block. So this is gonna be the first map that we're gonna see tonight. 2 drivers are gonna be missing today. We have Scrappy, who is unfortunately suffering from computer issues. He is, I think, not able to launch the game because his graphics card died. So Scrappy will not compete today. And also Sky is unable to compete due to real-life obligations. So 2 drivers will be missing tonight. We only have 14 drivers on the track today, so that should still be plenty to go for some really nice fights. So definitely looking forward to that. Before we start the first race, of course, keep in mind you can always vote for your favorite champion in the Twitch chat. You can type in go space your favorite player, and you will be voting for your favorite player, and in return they will be given hearts in the scoreboard. The more hearts, the more of a fan favorite he is, so make sure to show some love for your favorite champion. And we will be starting right here with the first map. It is going to be Circle. Let's kick it off right here on the first track. GLHF's being written, and here we go. So the first map, of course, players will not lose their points. So this one is about just accumulating some points in first place, and then move on through the rest of the step by just carrying over your points, and in the best case, not lose them in the upcoming maps. So we already have completed our first lap. We're playing 14 laps in total. You can see it in the top right corner. 14 laps in total. Right now we're actually going off really well for Spam, who's right now in the lead, followed by Bits, Bran, and Carl Jr. But still a very, very close pack of players without really anyone being super far behind right now. In last place we have Machi from Poland for Team Runtime, who is in a battle with Kappa as a burst, and Danik B. Danik B losing a little bit of speed there, so he might get overtaken by Machi as we speak. There he goes, up to 12th place. Let's go a little further ahead. So no one really with a big mistake, but then again, it is a very, very easy map. So mistakes won't really happen too much, and if a mistake happens, then it will be punished very hard, because it is quite a fast-paced track. So getting back the momentum you would lose in case of a mistake is very difficult. So you definitely want to make sure to not make those mistakes, and especially not hit the freewheel block, which I believe didn't really happen to anyone yet. I think, who was going down there? I think it was Roland that went down there. He hit the freewheel. But then we also have a bunch of big mistakes right here being made. One of them being Dexter, and I think also Dunster hit the wall very, very badly in that turn. So a bunch of mistakes now being done, and this is exactly what I said. If you make those mistakes, then it is pretty much impossible to recover from them, because the map is very short, and we're already halfway through, not even 2 minutes into the track. Lap 7 out of 14 right now, following Roland, who went down to 9th place after hitting the freewheel section. Finding himself right behind Bits. Papu with pretty low speed, jumping very close to the right wall there, almost hitting it, but he was able to stabilize and remains on position number 7 for the moment. Kappa has went up to 6th place. Cap with low speed, not getting the best angle, will now get overtaken by World Champion 2018 Kappa, and also Gaming Winterfest 2019 winner Kappa. So he is someone that you should definitely not count out in this competition. Moving up a little further, we have Cap for Gamers Origin for France, who is right now on position 5. However, I think he lost. Yeah, he lost 2 positions actually, so he must have hit the freewheel block. So Cap with 2 positions down after that small blunder. Bren for Team Solary on 4th place, right behind Carl Jr., who is of course our leader of the Trackmania Grand League for now. He's sitting there with 264 points. You can see some more detailed information on the right side. So Carl Jr. with 264 points, leading by a massive margin, and he's of course looking to extend his lead over his opponents. Going up to the leaders of the race, we have Spam versus Pack right here. The 2 leaders of this race, of the first map right now. They are doing a tremendous job, going for very, very similar lines, both getting the equal amount of exit speed right there. Pack versus Spam going through the loop-de-loop. Very, very exciting fight right here. We are approaching lap 13, so now it is do or die for Spam and for Pack. Small mistakes are now not wishful. Pack going a little wider, carries more speed and overtakes Spam just before the looping. That's going to be a good speed advantage for Pack, for the British player, but he almost hits the wall, and then Spam jumping into the multi-lap block, and he's gonna lose multiple positions with that. The mistake in the final lap, entering the last lap, Spam from 2nd down to position number 8. That is gonna be costly. Pack will win in front of Carl Jr., Brent taking 3rd, Kappa taking 4th, Cap taking 5th, Rolling on 6th, Papu on 7th, Spam on 8th, Dunster on 9th, Machi on 10th, Danik B on 11th, Zaburst on 12th, Bits on 13th, and Dexter, who apparently made a bunch of extra mistakes on top of that, is finding himself on last. Very unfortunate for Spam though. He was constantly in the top 2 positions, and now threw it away, entering the very, very last lap here. And this is how easy it can go here in Trackmania. One tiny mistake and your race can be pretty much decided, especially when you have such a short race like this. So Pack will win €100, of course, for taking 1st place on a map, and 20 points for the step ranking. Carl Jr. with 12, Bren with 10, Kappa with 8, Cap with 7, Rolling with 6, Papu with 5, Spam with 4, Dunsu with 3, Machi with 3, Danny P. Zuburst taking 2, Bits and Dexter taking 1. And we are moving on to map number 2, the Swift map change right here, and we are going onto a map that we should all be familiar with. It is Crossroads, a map that we have seen in the previous step, and we are gonna see it again as the second map. But for those that are maybe not familiar with it, let's take a look at the map preview. Crossroads by Nadeo, it is gonna be our second map of tonight. And this track, of course, having the identity of incorporating these Crossroads sections where players can either opt for the left or for the right side. Both are equal and both will be taken by players. We have seen it in the last step, in the previous step, that a bunch of drivers always picked the left side while others just always went for the right side. So at the end of the day, it is personal preference. It is kind of the preference of what side you prefer. Since everyone kind of has their preferred side, like people sometimes just go always for the left side, like kind of subconsciously, and then others always go for the right side. So this is kind of the phenomenon that we're also gonna see on this track. And yeah, this track, of course, having the very decisive ending with the wall hit, which is meant to slow you down, and then jump through the multi-lap block, through the start-finish line. So we might see a couple of position changes here. And speaking about position changes, we can actually take a quick look at what happened last week on this track, because, or not last week, but in the last step, because that has been truly, truly amazing as well. So I'm gonna show you a clip from what happened last time, because that was really, really, really exciting. The end camera, because we need to have a look at the ending situation. Pack most likely gonna win it here.
Oh, Danik B!
Danik B? Where is he?
Danik B!
Danik B! Oh, this is gonna be super close between Scrappy right here. Rolling Danik B and Scrappy. Scrappy going for the risky line, and Scrappy gonna take it right here. Scrappy saves himself, and he is on 7th place. Rollin
loses 21.
Rollin pushes himself down to 9th place, and Rollin loses it in the last jump. Oh my god, what has happened right there? So you saw it. You saw it. It was crazy what happened right there at the end. So this track has been played last in the previous step. So this track was map 5, where it was do or die. And then that happened at the end. So it was, yeah, mind-blowing, to say the least, and you could probably judge by our commentary as well. Speaking about the commentary, also being alone here again, Radiant's unfortunately not able to accompany me tonight, so I will be here alone. But yeah, I'm very excited for the second map, and starting from this track, players will also lose their points, so this is gonna be exciting. Map number 2 of step 5, it is Crossroads. Let's go. Let's follow Dexter, who had a very unfortunate start into the first step, has taken last on the introduction map on Circle. So Dexter definitely wants to make something happen, even though he is definitely not off to a greatest start right here. already finding himself more than half a second behind. So Dexter definitely struggling with keeping up with the pace of the others. Bits also with a tiny mistake, and also Machi with a full stop into the wall. So a bunch of early mistakes here in this round. And here we do already see the preferences of the players. So Kappa, for example, going to the right, Bren going to the right as well, and then a bunch of other drivers going to the left. So as I said, both sides are going to be equal. It is just personal preference. So it makes everything a little harder to keep an overview. But here is where the players will be joining themselves again. And looks like Papu right now is actually in the lead. However, he has a little mistake right there. Small blunder exiting, or rather entering the underground section. So Papu from 1st to 9th. That's how quickly it can go. Carl Jr. and Pack in the lead, followed by Kappa and Rollin. So Rollin, who, of course, as you saw, didn't have the greatest end to the previous step, now wants to redeem himself for that big mistake that he has done. And he is definitely capable of doing so, especially with a 4th place, which looks pretty good for him so far. Cap is finding himself on position number 5 right now, having a pretty decent gap. Bren on position 6, going to the left side. Papu has moved up to 6th again. So Papu always someone that can make something happen on the dirt corner in the mid part of the track, because that's where speed is going to be especially important, to carry as much speed as possible through the dirt corner. And Papu, being someone that is of course arguably one of the best dirt drivers around, can definitely manage to do so. Spam finding himself on 8th place, right behind Bren and Papu, who are fighting for position 6. So Spam, the Dutch player for Team Defuse Kids, would right now keep his points. The 4 points that he gathered from map 1. He would keep them right now. Let's move a little further down the scoreboard. Bits on position 9 from Lithuania, playing for Team Venture, who is holding up pretty strong against Danik B. Approaching the wall hit section now. Everyone makes it, no big mistakes being made, and the positions are set in stone. Right now, the positions have not changed in the previous lap. Dexter moved up to 11th, but this is still not where he wants to be, I think. Machi on 12th, Dunster only on 13th. Also, he would lose 3 points for this 13th place, and Zaburst would also lose 2 points for taking 14th. A very close battle actually going on here between Carl Jr. and Pack. We gotta take a close look at that. Triple World Champion Carl Jr. against Pack, who has been also performing outstandingly in the Trackmania Grand League so far. He is 2nd in the league ranking with 161 points. So he is quite a bit behind Carl Jr., but still enough to secure 2nd place for now. Kappa also wants to have a saying, apparently. Kappa, who had his best step last time, he is now doing really well on this track too, which is nice to see. The 23-year-old player from the Czech Republic, right now still on 3rd place. Tries to make something happen. Actually goes for the right side, but he messes up the Neo slide and will hit the barrier as a result. But he stays on 3rd place, and that just shows how fast Carl Jr. and Pack actually are, because the gap down to Papu, who is on 4th, is 2.1 seconds already. So Carl Jr. and Pack are really giving it all and really competing at their best right now, which is absolutely amazing. Now entering lap 6, Carl Jr. carrying a bit more speed, almost hitting the multi-lap block. That was actually super close. Could maybe barely fit a paper between his car and the wall there. So very, very close call by Carl Jr. Stabilizes though and still keeps up the fight with Pack in lap number 6. Spam has gone up to 5th place, but he is in a fight here with 2 other guys. We have Cap for Gamers Origin and Bren for Solary, the 2 Frenchies right now, battling it out for position 5. Spam lurking in the shadows, waiting for an opportunity to go for the overtake. Goes a little too tight on the dirt though. On the dirt, you don't want to go too tight because there's this little patch of darker dirt on the inside, which is a little bumpy, and hitting the bump will send you into the air. It will make you lose grip, and losing grip will cost you some acceleration, and that, of course, as a logical result, will cost you some speed. Spam now going for the overtake on Bren in that right-hander just before entering lap 7, so Spam now up to 5th place, and also Bits now capitalizing on Cap, making a mistake who dropped down to 9th place, so he would lose 7 points. He would be the biggest loser right now in this map. Danik B, Dexter, Dunstan, Machi, and Zaburst would all lose a bit less points than Cap. But Cap is definitely still within reasonable reach right here. One small mistake and Cap can definitely move up some positions again. Bits going for the risky approach to the right side, which does require a Neo Slide. A Neo Slide being a technique that allows you to slide at any angle and at any speed. Normally, drifting in this game requires you to have a certain amount of steering and a certain amount of speed. And with the Neo Slide, you can basically nullify that and basically drift anywhere you want in whatever moment you want. And this is what the players do make use of if they actually opt to go for the right side. But then again, this is not something that is required after all, especially not if you go for the left side. What is going on at the top? We are in lap 8 already. Carl Jr. has now actually accumulated a small lead over Pack. The gap is now, what is it, 0.3? Oh, 0.5 actually, almost 0.6. So Carl Jr. definitely pressing B for boost right now. Kappa still holding up strong here with 3rd place. Papu on 4th in a fight with Spam. We can maybe have a look at that. They both are eager to get some more points. And Papu right now jumping to the right side, Spam to the left, so they will join after this 180 turn. Here they go, Papu still keeping himself in front of the Dutchman. Spam going for a good wall hit. You want to maintain as much speed as possible in the air. And this is what all of the players are, of course, able to do. Since we, of course, have the elite of this game. We have the best of the best right here playing. And they, of course, show that. Bren only on 6th place, though. He has accumulated 10 points on the first map. The 6th place would give him some extra points, but Bren is someone that can definitely take one of those big boy positions as well. Maybe not this time on Crossroads, maybe it's not his map, but a 6th place is still more than enough, especially if you consider that the red positions on the left side will give you a point loss. Bits versus Cap, actually another interesting fight. They are fighting for the hot seat right here, right now. And we have 1 lap remaining, so this is actually going to be do or die. Bits now with a superior wall hit, coming closer to Cap and actually overtakes him. And we're now going through the underground section for the final time, both being neck and neck. And this is, of course, very important for Cap because he has 7 points. He would theoretically lose if he loses this battle against Bits. And Bits is actually right now going up into 8th place. Goes for some more speed in that left-hander. This combination, very important to keep control over your car. Bits now going to the right using the Neo Slide. Cap going to the left. Let's take a look after the dirt turn. Bits finding himself on the right side of the track. No, actually he is behind Cap. So Bits definitely not with the greatest approach here at the end. Let's go for the free cam here at the end. Carl Jr. most likely going to take it. He is jumping. And he will make it. 100 euro for Carl Jr. Pack on 2nd. Kappa on 3rd. Papu on 4th. Spam on 5th. Bren, Rollin, and Cap. And then we have Bits, who actually makes a big mistake right at the end. Will he even be able to pass the jump? No! Bits will actually jump right into the sign. And he's not going to pass the jump. Will even get passed by Dunster, who is going to capitalize. Same for Danik B and Dexter. So Bits down to 12th place. Makes a mistake right at the end. So, very, very unfortunate. And here we have Zaburst, who actually turtles into the finish. Wow. There he goes. So, Zaburst taking last. And the people on the left side in the red colors will lose their points. Carl Jr. and Pack now with the tie at the front. We have 32 points for both. Then Kappa going up to 3rd place with 18 points. Bren has lost his position, now down to 4th place with 16, Papu with 13, Spam with 11, Roland with 11, Cap with 11, So 3 players very, very close to each other. Danik B with 3, Dexter with 3, Dunsa with 2, Bits with 2, Machi with 1, and Zaburst with 1 as well. We are going into map number 3, ladies and gentlemen. We are almost halfway through step 5, and this is gonna be another map that will be familiar to those that follow this competition actively. It is gonna be Elevate by Firestorm with a very, very interesting identity. Let's take a look. Alright, you have all seen it, but if you maybe haven't noticed exactly, we are of course talking about this section. We have the triple jump combination on the boosts, which is the identity of this track. This is actually really, really difficult to pull off, and the players of course have to do it every single time. There's no way to get around these. So we have this set of jumps where you want to rotate your car in a way that you angle yourself up properly for the next jump. So it is a succession of jumps with only a very, very small time frame of time to actually set yourself up properly. And then to top it off, we also have the risky landing on the ledge to the left of this wall, which you can also opt for if you set yourself up properly after the last booster landing. If you, however, do not feel like going through this super tiny gap, which is barely wider than the actual car, then you of course can just go for the engine killer and lose your engine until you cross the checkpoint. But this is something that you of course don't want to consider if you're fighting for the top positions. So in step 4 we have also seen amazing plot twists on this track. We can actually have a swift look at maybe the biggest laughable moment that happened on Elevate in step 4. Field right there. Let's have a look at that. This is actually super close. It is 700s between 1st and 4th place, between all the 3 Gamers Origin players and Carl Jr. This is actually incredibly close right here. Following Carl Jr. right now, who goes for a lot of exit speed right there. Passes Pack as we speak. Oh! Wow! Double mistake by Carl Jr. and Cap. Both hitting the exact same corner. Both hitting the pole and both having to respawn. Oh my god, what is happening in this race? What is happening? So yeah, this has happened as well. So you gotta make sure to properly avoid the obstacles in the mid part. Let me just go with the camera here. So this is the part that we're talking about. We have these 2 obstacles in particular that need to be avoided. And you could see in the clip that some sort of domino pinball effect can kind of happen. If you hit one, you're just gonna get sent straight into the next one. So it is actually very, very tight. You can just see Kappa was just going through there. The gap is super small. So this is also another crucial section of the track next to the stairs. Map number 3, ladies and gentlemen. I am super excited to see this one again. Elevate by Firestorm, map number 3 of step 5. Here we go. So, of course, we have some big boy points now for a bunch of players. These can easily be lost with one small mistake or one blunder in one of the decisive sections, and you could potentially say goodbye, au revoir, Tschüss mit us to your points. And here goes the first one. Bits, ladies and gentlemen, hitting the obstacle. He is the first one to demonstrate us how not to do it. So Bits down to last place already. Is gonna lose a good 7, 8 to 9 seconds easily. Going through the first set of stairs. Let's take a look here. Will everyone make it? Everyone makes it, but Danik B gets a little stuck right there. Not setting himself up properly for the little ledge jump. So he is gonna lose a bunch of positions right here. Drop down to 13th place. Second to last, right ahead of Bits. Bren is actually surprisingly not well off to a good start. He's only on 11th place. So Bren must have had a small mistake. He is already 1.4 seconds behind 8th place, which is right now occupied by Dexter. This time, no mistake being made here in the mid part, so all of the players will be able to continue their journey. Bren will so far remain on 11th place. Machi on 10th. He took 10th already on map 1 and 13th on map 2, so he could maybe make something happen again and gather some important points as he overtakes Dunster, but a very, very awkward landing right here. Has to adjust his line multiple times, so Machi not with the greatest approach right here. Dunster will remain in front of him on position number 9, the Danish driver for Team Hyperion, who is also in dire need of some points. Same for Dexter, the German player, only on 8th. With him, it's a little bit of a hit and miss. It is either going to be a great position for Dexter. He has, in fact, already won a bunch of maps, but yeah, with this position right now, it is definitely not going to be a top-tier position for him. Spam has dropped down to 9th, though a small mistake by Spam somewhere on the track in lap 3 has pushed him down to 7th place behind Roland. Now, coming up the staircase again. Everyone makes it just fine. Spam not able to close into Roland, both of them getting it very, very equally. The players can opt to go for a small touch on that blue kind of edge that you have there. The edge that separates the grass from the water. That one actually gives you a speed boost because it does get treated like tarmac. So the tarmac will give you faster acceleration than, of course, grass. So players can go for a couple of extra kilometers an hour by driving on the blue roof or on the blue side. So that's a little bit of extra knowledge right here for you guys. Spam is actually now coming in closer to Roland. He is creeping in closer and closer with every single turn. We are in lap number 4, so we're not even halfway through. Mistakes can still very well happen. Papu in the meantime dropping down to 14th place, and also Bren apparently not doing that well. Both of these players might lose all of their points, 16 and 13 respectively. So I'm not sure what went wrong for Papu. That is the downside of being alone in the commentator's box. So you can't see everything. But Papu is, yeah, 17.3 seconds behind, and this is pretty much impossible to already catch up. Papu certainly needs a miracle and a half to make something happen. And also Bren, 9 seconds behind 8th place, which is right now Danik B. Also, Bren needs to completely push it to the limits. He has nothing to lose at this point. He can just push it and go for really fast lap times and hope that it will kind of be enough. But yeah, it will be a very, very difficult task. Spam and Roland have gained a position. Dexter up to 7th and Danik B on 8th. So they're now all capitalizing from Papu making that mistake. Position change between Zaburst and Bits. And this is why Zaburst has not managed to pass the staircase, has to respawn. So there he goes down to last place. Let's go a little further ahead. Let's go with Kappa, who is on a solid 4th place again. He took 4th on map 1, 3rd on map 2, and looking to take another 4th place maybe on the next track. But he's actually pretty close to Cap and Carl Jr. Both of these actually going for some slightly different approaches. You saw that Carl Jr. was jumping a little further left on the last booster, while Cap was going for a more direct line. Both seemingly being pretty equal at the end of the day. And now Kappa trying to close in. tried to land a little bit early on that boost right after the multi-lap, but he wasn't able to really capitalize on that, so he remains on 4th place as of now. Let's follow him through the crucial section. No one making a mistake, and Pack continues to extend his lead even further. He's now the leader of the race with a 2-second advantage. Thomas Cole from the United Kingdom holding up the flag for Gamers Origin, taking first on map 1, second on map 2, and another potential first place on map 3, going into lap number 7, almost lap 8, and he continues to absolutely dominate this race so far. Cap, in the meantime, actually making a small mistake, has lost a little bit of time. Now dropping down to 4th place, so Kappa will go up to 3rd place, which will give him some valuable points for the step ranking. Cap going very, very wide, trying to accumulate as much speed as possible for the long straight, which of course does make sense. Remains on the track, avoids the obstacles. Small bump from the Randstein, but he stabilizes and remains on 4th. Rollin still in a fight with Spam, so this is actually kind of the train that has been going through the map for the entire time. Spam now opting for the inside line, goes for the overtake on Rollin, neck and neck. They're now entering the staircase section. They're literally inside of each other right now. It is almost impossible to call any sort of differences in their approaches. Spam and Rollin doing the exact same thing and keeping the distance very, very close. Spam now with more exit speed going up to 5th place, but Rollin lands on a booster earlier and maintains more exit speed that way, so Rollin will still keep on that 5th place for now. Neck and neck between these two drivers, Austria versus the Netherlands. Rollin now going very, very wide, and it was actually quite a good choice because he remains on his position so far. Dexter already quite far behind, so you can definitely see that the top 6 have crystallized over Dexter and Machi. The rest of these players have all made mistakes already, while the top 6 has stayed intact without really having made any major mistakes. So everything starting from position 7 has made a mistake somewhere on the track. Bren and Papu have moved up to 10th and 11th place respectively, but they are still very, very far away, and I really don't think they are gonna make anything happen. So Bren and Papu most likely gonna lose 16 and 13 points respectively, which is gonna hurt, but they will have the chance to make something happen. And now it is Roland that actually goes for a very, very alternate line. Not the greatest approach for Roland, so Spam will go for the overtake now. We are in the last lap. Pack looking to take it. He is 2.1 seconds ahead. 2.4 seconds ahead, never mind. Pack continues to just extend his lead further and further. Kappa now closing in to Carl Jr. The gap, however, pretty big, so Carl Jr. needs to make a small mistake on the staircase now. Carl Jr. on 2nd, Kappa on 3rd. Great landing for both. The positions will remain intact. Cap on 4th. Then we have Spam on 5th and Roland on 6th. These positions looking to stay the same here. Last corner coming up. Pack will take it right here with a great, great run, taking 100 euro again. That makes it 200 for this evening for Pack. He is sure gonna be happy about that. Carl Jr. 2.25 seconds behind. Kappa 2.64 seconds behind the leader. Cap on 4th. Spam keeping himself in front of Roland. He's gonna take 5th. Roland on 6th. Dexter on 7th. Machi on 8th. Gonna take some good points here home. Bits on 9th. And then we have the two big losers of this map. We have Bren and Papu that both lose 2-digit points. Dunstan on 12th. Danik B on 13th. And the Burst will not be able to reach the finish line. Great, great performance on this track though. The top 6 being within 3.5 seconds after 10 laps, after 8.5 minutes of driving. That is top-notch driving by these drivers on this very, very difficult track. Pack now moving up to the lead with 52 points. Carl Jr. with 44, Kappa on 28, so the top 3 will remain the same. But we had a bunch of position changes right here. Coming up, we have Cap, who goes up to 4th place now with 19 points. Spam with 18, Roland with 17. So those are the players that had all 11 points going into the 3rd map. So Cap going out of it as the winner of this triple battle. Cap with 19, Spam with 18, Roland with 17, Dexter with 8, Machi with 5, Bits with 3, and then of course Bren and Papu, who are now gonna try to redeem themselves and try to regain the points that they have lost on map number 4. Dunster with 2, and then Zaburst and Danik B both actually getting the DNF will all have 0 points on their account. Alright, so the 4th map, we have the second to last map of this evening already. It went very, very fast. We have a new map in the map pool. It is Crescendo by Shadok. Let's take a look at what this map has to offer. Alright, the new map in the pool, the new kid in class. We have this track made by Shadok, and we are going through its identity as we speak. Rollin showing us how to do it. We have the long quarter pipe jump in the mid part of the track, which is going to be the vital aspect of this track. It is very, very important to go for the lowest possible jump trajectory. We have a lot of airtime right here, so you want to minimize the airtime to an absolute minimum by jumping as low as possible without clipping these edges. So this edge is going to be especially crucial. You don't want to leave the ramp too early, otherwise you will clip this edge with one of your wheels, and that will cause a slowdown and a flip as well, and that is a guaranteed respawn because there's no way you're going to land on the other side since you have quite a long distance to travel right here. So this long ass jump will be the decider right here. So the aim will be to land as early as possible and to preserve as much speed as possible. I sadly can't untilt the camera, which is a little bit of a shame, so we all have to like tilt our heads a little bit right here. I am not responsible, and also the Trackmania Grand League is not responsible for any neck damage. Just saying that out loud here. But coming to the track here as well, we also have a couple of dirt parts again, which are going to be very good for Papu, I would say. Papu, of course, being someone that will be taking advantage from the dirt section. So we have a little bit of dirt right here. We have a couple of drifts coming up after this big quarter pipe jump as well. So a little bit of every style being covered in this track, which is very nice to see. So we have dirt, tech, and this, yeah, jump aspect, which is very nice to see. So this track will be played right here. We can maybe have a swift look at the step ranking. Peck still in the lead with 52, Carl Jr. with 44, Kappa with 28. So we have these three big players that could very well lose all of their points. You still gotta keep in mind, one red position is enough to lose all of your points. Like, no matter how you did before, all of your points will be down the drain. So the pressure will be rising as we come towards the last track. Let's go into this one though. Map number 4, Crescendo. We are following Rollin, who is also a very versatile player. He is also going to be someone that is going to have a good chance at making up some time in the dirt sections. Carl Jr. with the first mistake already, ladies and gentlemen. Carl Jr. with the first mistake of this track has hit the dirt wall and already lost 3.8 seconds in turn 2. So, not the greatest start for Carl Jr. He definitely needs to push it now. And also Bren. What is happening to Bren? Team Solary is falling apart right now. The two last positions both being occupied by the Solary players. So this is looking grim for them already. That is a small upset to say the least. But we have 10 laps, so anything can happen. Let's go for Kappa. He is going to give us a good POV right here over what's happening. Kappa right now finding himself on position number 5. right now not fearing anything. He is in a fight with Roland and Spam. Spam actually with great speed, overtaking both within a blink of an eye, within one turn. But Kappa striking back, getting more speed out of that right drift. Now we have to jump. Everyone will make it. Kappa actually jumping super low. That is going to be really, really great for him, as he's now closing in to the Gamers Origin trio. Pack, Papu, and Cap all leading. But as I say that, the Caster's Curse is kicking in, ladies and gentlemen. Papu with a mistake, going from second down to position number 6. So we had the temporary triple lead for Gamers Origin, but Mr. Streamer had to ruin it. Lap number 3, Papu versus Spam. And here you can clearly see Papu's expertise right here in the dirt section. He knows how to get those extra kilometers an hour out of these dirt sections. And he keeps himself in front of Spam. Let's take a look at the next quarter pipe section. Pack looking to take another juicy 100 euro home. He is in the lead by half a second over his teammate Cap. Kappa on 3rd, Papu on 4th, Spam on 5th, Rollin trailing right behind on position 6. Dunst actually now finding himself on a green position after having 3 red ones. He is now also, you know, willing to take some points here as well. He is in a fight with Bits going into lap number 4. Bren has actually moved up to 9th place, and also Carl Jr. is going up to 12th place. Only 1.8 seconds now between himself and the player on 8th. So maybe we can follow Carl Jr. here for a little bit, who is right now fearing to lose 44 points and lose an immense amount of points towards Pack in the league ranking. Because if Pack takes another 20, then it would be a massive, massive loss for Carl Jr. So he is really pushing it and goes for a super low jump, passes his opponent midair. Carl Jr. up to 11th now. But now there's quite a big gap to Danik B and to Dunster. You can see his opponents right in front of him. He can almost smell them. He can smell the burnt rubber that his opponents are creating right in front of him. Going into lap number 5 now, the dirt section. Carl Jr., of course, having made the mistake right here on the right side on the wall, just before the uphill, which is a very, very crucial part to make a mistake in. And Carl Jr. is coming closer and closer with every single step. Now only 1 second between him and 8th place, which is now occupied by Bren. Bits actually has to go for the bonus routes. Will not be able to make the jump. Also hops over the Randstein. Carl Jr. will, of course, say merci beaucoup and goes for the overtake. Carl Jr. now up to 10th place, right behind Danik B and Dunster. Carl Jr. is coming closer, and if he keeps up the pace, then he's very well gonna conserve his points. Passes Danik B now, who gets the gear down in the right-hander, and now this is almost over now. Dunster now losing his speed, but Carl Jr. has to adjust his line. Goes too tight into that corner with too much speed, and almost hit the wall again. So Carl Jr. is definitely not safe yet, but he's definitely on his way to redeem himself after that mistake that he's done before. Great recovery job for Carl Jr. Goes for that jump super close over that barrier. That is a very, very big risk that Carl Jr. is willing to take. But he is experienced enough to judge what is good and what isn't. So Carl Jr. now up to 8th place, back into the green part of the scoreboards, right behind his teammate Bren, who also recovered very, very well. So Carl Jr. and Bren both doing a tremendous job at recovering after their mistakes. But speaking about mistakes, it is now Bren that touches the wall on the exit of that right-hander and will have to let his teammate Carl Jr. pass. Dunster creeping in a tiny bit closer. Rollin is on 6th place. He is being contested by Carl Jr., who is now coming closer. He still wants more points. We can for sure have a look at him in the next upcoming lap. So we are in lap 7, and Spam is now coming in closer to Cap. The fight for 4th. Gamers Origin versus the Fuse Kids. Cap going for a slightly different approach. Opts for more exit speed. Spam not with the greatest speed right here. This turn, this right-hander can be prone to some gear downs, which is basically, in other words, when your car downshifts while steering, while drifting. which is something that you always want to avoid in Trackmania Stadium. If you slide or if you are in a low grip situation, then either shifting up or shifting down is going to result in a slowdown. So this is something that you do want to avoid, and this is also exactly what's applying to the right-hander near the end of the lap. The distance has remained around the same. Carl Jr. has actually passed Roland as we speak. Carl Jr. now up to 6th place. That is a super low jump. Oh boy, Carl Jr. now maybe trying to snack Spam as well. He still has 2 laps to go. But that is still a long way to go. Cap is on 4th. He has gotten 3 green positions, so a good step for Cap as of now. Continues to do well here, entering lap number 9. Papu on 3rd, and Kappa actually on 2nd place, which is insane considering the amount of dirt that we have in here. So Kappa seemingly being someone that also is comfortable on dirt after all, since he's mainly known as a tech-only driver. But Kappa showing right here that he got it in his blood. And he is right now fighting with Papu. Kappa, lower jump for him. Actually, really low jump by Kappa. That is risky, but it does pay off, and he keeps himself in front of Papu. And then there's Pack. I don't think we need to lose a lot of words about him. Pack has been doing an outstanding step once again. The British player looking to make it 300 euro. Because, hey, why not? Someone's gonna take that money, right? 1 more lap remaining. Pack is 1 second ahead of Kappa, so he can take it easy. Very risky line by Pack there in the uphill. That could have gone wrong, but he remains on 1st place. Kappa on 2nd, Papu on 3rd. Bren has actually dropped down to 9th place again. And also Dexter looking to lose the 8 points that he got for his 3rd map's performance. So yeah, as I said, Dexter always a hit or miss in this competition. Bren now up to 8th place again. However, Danik B with the lower jump, he might have a little bit more speed. He wants to deny Brent some points here, even though we're just talking about 3 points. 3 points are still 3 points, so you still gotta take that in mind. However, Pack will be the winner of this race in front of Kappa. Then we have Papu on 3rd, Cap on 4th, Carl Jr. on 5th, Spam on 6th, Rollin on 7th, Bren on 8th, Dunst on 9th, Danik B on 10th, Bits on 11th, Dexter on 12th, Machi on 13th, and the Burst coming in right here. So Carl actually passing another player right at the end. So Carl Jr. from last to 5th with only 3.89 seconds of a deficit. So you gotta keep in mind that he was roughly 3.8 seconds behind after his mistake, and he remained 3.8 seconds at the end. So Carl Jr. and Pack had the exact same pace. Apart from the fact that Carl Jr. did that mistake. But just mathematically spoken, Carl Jr. and Pack had the exact same pace, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, we have 72 points for Pack, who is looking to win this step. He's now 21 points ahead of Carl Jr., who is sitting there with 51 points on 2nd place. Kappa with 40, also doing a really good job here today. Cap with 27, extending his lead mildly over Spam, who is now 3 points behind. Roland with 22, Papu with 12, Bren saving his points with that 8th place on map 4. He will have 7 points. Dunster with 3, Danik B with 3, Bits with 2, Dexter with 2, Machi with 1, and Zaburst with 1 as well. So, last map coming up right here is Betwinners. It is the final map. This is do or die, and I think this already gives you enough of an idea of what's coming up on the final track of this evening. The last track, Betwinners, and you have all seen the final jump. This is the hardest map of the map pack, and that is simply due to the end. So let's go a little bit into detail as the players are doing the warm-up right now. So, the key part is right here. You have basically two options. You can go under the Zeppelin. You can decide to jump under the blimp, which is a super precise jump because you can hit this, black support thingy from the Zeppelin, and it would ruin your jump. Or you don't keep enough speed and you will not be able to even reach this ramp to continue your road, or something else happens. So there are a lot of possibilities to mess up this jump, and if you mess up this jump, you lose a good amount of time. The respawn is right here, but you will lose, I don't know, 6-7 seconds easily with that mistake. If you go for the safe approach, you can jump over the blimp, exactly what Kappa and Dunstaff demonstrated us. You can jump over the blimp, which is more than a second slower than a low jump, but it is safer. And players will have to decide now, depending on their position, depending on, you know, their gut feeling, as to what route do they want to jump for. Do they want to jump under it, or do they want to jump over it? This is gonna be incredibly decisive, and I am pretty sure that mistakes will happen right here. I can not guarantee you, but I would say with a 90% certainty, one guy with the big points will lose them all on this map. Simply on that end. So here we go with Betwinners. Last map of tonight. This is gonna be exciting. So we have the rather easy first half with the long platform parts. The hairpin right here, which requires a super early drift. You want to completely let go of the acceleration. Danik B actually demonstrating it as to how not to do it. Danik B with a small mistake, already finding himself on last place. Moving up the field. Let's take a look at Carl Jr. Dunst actually jumping dangerously far right. We also have this set of jumps, which is not too difficult if you angle yourself up properly. And also here, you want to aim, and Bren actually does not aim properly, but he recovers incredibly well, even though he landed completely rotated. So he hit the sculpture mid-air and lost a little speed, so that could have gone very badly for Bren, but he makes it, and he... No! Bren! Bren falls off, and Bren has made the mistake right here. And also Pack! Pack has made a mistake as well, and Pack is down to 11th place already. 3.7 seconds behind 8th. So here we have the mistakes that I'm talking about. This is the final jump that everyone has been fearing, and Carl Jr. will maybe be the one to capitalize from this. And I say maybe because we still have 9 jumps coming up. But that is not the greatest start for Pack whatsoever. He is moving up to 10th place. Machi is not making a jump. And also Bits, I think, has not made that jump. So everything is kind of all over the place right here. Let's have a look at the free cam. Spam is in the lead. He makes it in front of Roland and Papu. We have big gaps right here already in the top 3. Carl Jr. on 4th. Cap on 5th. Dunst on 6th. Kappa on 7th. Machi, Bren, Bits, and Pack following up. Zaburst and Danik B coming up right here. Pack must have made another mistake again. He's not too far behind, but I think he had a small blunder once again. So he is feeling the pressure. The feeling of potentially losing 72 points and almost a perfect step. That is the pressure that is now kicking in on this map. But Cap is now respawning just in front of this section. Bits with a wonky landing up front. Stabilizes though. So Pack will overtake his teammate. And now we have 2 people with double-digit points that would lose it. Spam still in the lead. The top 3 remains the same. Carl Jr. now up to 4th place. So the gaps are really, really big. Look at that. It is 8.5 seconds between 1st and 5th place. That is the biggest gap we have seen in this competition so far, I think. That just shows how difficult this track is. Let's take a look at Pack. He needs to make something happen, and he's up to 8th as we speak. He is right behind Bren. So Pack right now safe. But he is being followed by 3 people. 4 people. Carl Jr. Wait, Carl Jr. Carl Jr. also making a mistake. What is happening? What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? Carl Jr. with 51 points. He is on 9th place now. I can't believe what I'm witnessing. Let's take a look at that jump again. Top 3 remains the same. Kappa goes for the high jump. Bren goes for the low jump. Bren makes it. Pack makes it. Bits does not make it. Bits dies. So Bits will be out of this one. So people like Carl Jr. and Cap will capitalize on that. So we had 1 death in lap 4. Cap with that inside line. Creeping into Machi for position 9. Carl Jr. now up to 8th. And also Pack is now safe-ish again. He's now behind Bren. But yeah, Spam is actually performing outstandingly. Maybe looking to win his first map ever. Looking to win 100 euro. We're taking a look here at how he approaches the jump. And he makes it. Very well done. Lap number 6 for Spam. Driving a perfect race so far. Papu up to 2nd. Has gained that position on Rollin, who dropped down to 3rd. Kappa keeps jumping high. And it pays off. He's still in 4th place. Because, as I said, you lose a second to a second and a half by jumping up high. And Kappa is just going with the mindset that everyone else will make a mistake. And this is exactly what happened. Kappa on 4th place by jumping high. Constantly. So, that is a brilliant play by Kappa. Not gonna lie. And Cap is still sitting there on the hot seat. He's fighting with Dunster. So Cap is not out of this yet. He also has 27 points to lose. So that's not the greatest situation for him to be in. Carl Jr. with 51 points, sitting on 7th place. 15 seconds behind the leader Spam. Let's take a look at the camera. Everyone has survived. Bren actually going for the low jump, and Pack as well. So now this is what you see. Kappa will lose the time, but he's still very well in the race. Carl Jr. and Cap made it as well. Dunster made it as well, so no position changes here going into the next lap. But we have a 3-man battle for position number 4. We have Bren on 4th. Kappa, who jumps a little unnecessarily high right there, who now loses his position to Pack. Kappa down to 6th in lap 7. The players opting for slightly different approaches, all of them being roughly the same. Bren jumping super close to that turbine. That was more moderately close. But they all stay on the track. I saw in the distance, Spam made it just another time. Absolutely amazing performance. Papu on 2nd, Rollin on 3rd. And now we have these 3 that are gonna battle it out. That are 12 seconds behind the leader. Just let that sink in for a moment. Spam is completely demolishing everyone. And also Papu with a top tier performance right here. Looking to gather really, really good points for his account. Same for Rollin. They're going to be the winners of this map for sure. And this battle is still hot and spicy. Even though Kappa, of course, with his safe approach, has lost a whole second. Almost 2 seconds. To Bren and Pack, who continue to jump low. Other than that, the positions seem to be set in stone for now. Dunster has lost his grip. Has lost multiple seconds towards Cap, who actually stumbles a little bit right here, entering the final underground jump. So Dunster will come a little bit closer, but the gap is still like, what, 4 seconds? So, yeah, that is still a lot. Now the jump. Zaburst getting lapped. Carl Jr. now is the next one to maybe overtake Kappa. We are in lap 8. Or rather lap 9, never mind, we are in lap 9. So Carl Jr. has 2 more jumps where he could shave off 2 seconds from Kappa. So if Carl Jr. doesn't make a mistake, then he should have Kappa in the pocket. But that would require him to make no mistakes whatsoever in the last 1.5 remaining laps of this map. Spam now lapping Dexter, who is on 12th place. Second to last time, Spam is going for the jump and he makes it butter smooth. Spam entering the last lap with an absolute banger of a race. Papu! Papu had to respawn, ladies and gentlemen. He's down to 3rd place. He's now being chased by Pack. So Papu, luckily, has accumulated enough of a lead that he could actually afford that mistake. He only lost 1 position. Roland will be the one to capitalize from that. Roland up to 2nd place. And Pack is still pretty far away from that. Where's Carl Jr.? Carl Jr. has made a mistake as well, I think, since he's now down to 8th place. Cap up to 7th. So Carl Jr. must have made a mistake in the quarter pipe again, which will definitely eliminate him out of the battle for 6th place. So Kappa might be safe here on 6th place. Oh! Pack hit the wall! Pack hit the wall, ladies and gentlemen, in this section, but there is no one that contests him. Pack fully bonked into the wall. Where's Spam? Wait, he finished. Okay. Oh my god, I was scared. Spam wins the race in front of Roland. 100 euro for Spam. Papu on 3rd. Bran on 4th. Kappa on 5th. Pack stays on 6th place. That must have been a heart attack and a half. Cap on 7th. And Carl Jr. on 8th. Dunster on 9th. Machi on 10th. Bits on 11th. Dexter on 12th. Danik B on 13th. And Zaburst on 14th. So Spam and Roland with a really great performance. Especially Spam making it a 10 out of 10 low jump. Which is something I did not expect anyone to pull off at this point. Like, to be quite fair, I did not expect anyone to make it the 10 out of 10. So, extremely well played by Spam, who will take 20 points for the step ranking and 100 euro into his account. And with that, he will definitely gain some positions. He's up to 4th place in the step. Pack will win step 5 of the Trackmania Grand League with 79 points. Carl Jr. on 2nd with 55. Kappa with 46. Spam with 44. Roland also going up after the 2nd place on map 5. He's there with 34 points. Cap has lost some positions. 32 for him. Papu with 22. Bren 15. He's definitely not going to be happy about that, I think. Dunsa with 3. Machi with 3. And then we have 4 people with 0 points that all got a DNF on map 5. For the league ranking, this means that Carl Jr. will still remain in the lead with 319 points. Pack is 99 points behind. Then Kappa has moved up to 3rd place in total with 129. Spam with 119. Bren with 113 has lost some positions after this rather weak step for him. Scrappy, of course, did not play. He will lose some points and some positions. He's down to 100. 6th place for him. Papu with 89. Cap with 70. Roland with 66. And then we have Danik B with 30, Dexter with 24, Bits with 19, Dunster with 10, Machi with 6, Zaburst with 5, and Sky with 3 points. So Scrappy, of course, has not played, and Sky didn't play either. So 2 players who have not competed. But this has been a truly tremendous step right here with quite some changes for the overall standings, which is really nice to see. And that will also conclude step number 5, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a truly exciting one, especially on map 5. So this is gonna bode well for the next step, of course, step 6, which will be played in 2 weeks of time, the 31st of March 2019 at 8 PM CET. I will see you again right here for step number 6 out of 10 for the Trackmania Grand League. That will be truly exciting once more, so make sure to not miss out on that. I thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and until then, take care, have a good evening, or a good day, or a good whatever, wherever you are. Thank you for watching and see you around.